Hi Twilights, welcome or welcome back to Twilight Corner. So in today's video, I'm going to be explaining you chapter number 7, that is Reach for the Top, part 1, Santosh Yadav. So let's start. But before we start, make sure to like this video, subscribe and also share this video with your friends. So let's start. Chapter number 7, Reach for the Top. So this is quite like an inspirational story about a girl who climbed the Mount Everest. So her name was Santosh Yadav. Okay, so let's read it. Before you read, think for a while and make a list of 3 or 5 persons you idolize or admire very much for their achievements. Your idols may be from any sphere of life: sports, medicine, media, or art and culture. So whenever you talk about idols, like whichever person you see as an inspiration, or actually just idolize them, they're your idol, you inspired, you're getting inspired from them, or just getting admired from them, from their achievements or such as that. So that person, okay, that person may be from any sphere of things like sports, medicine, media, art and culture. So you have to make a list about them of 3 or 5 persons. You can just list them in a piece of paper. Then your teacher will then discuss your choices with you to find out who the top 5 idols in your class are. So once you make this list, what you're going to do is your teacher is just going to ask your whole class. Close the door. Arey, close the door. So your teacher is just going to ask you, like, basically just going to find out who are the most 5 top idols in your class. Okay, so this was just a quick, this is a small activity. If you want to do it, you can. Okay, now let's start with the actual part of the chapter. The woman, the only woman in the world who has scaled Mount Everest twice, was born in a society where the birth of a son was regarded as a blessing, and a daughter, though not considered a curse. So basically, what happened was that this woman, Santosh Yadav, right, she was the only person who climbed the Mount Everest twice, okay? And she was born in such a society where actually sons were actually regarded as a blessing, they are supposed to be a more kind of like not a burden in the old societies. And then a daughter, though, was not considered a curse, but it was considered a what do you call it, a burden. So was not generally so welcome, like how we would welcome boys like in the olden times. So when her mother was expecting Santosh, a traveling holy man, so basically there was a holy man. When basically what happened was that when her mother was having Santosh, so basically she went to a holy man, like a traveling holy man, giving her this blessing. Her is blessing that assume that she would want a son, right? But everyone surprised. Actually, her mother wanted a what? She wanted a daughter, and also her grandmother. She also wanted a what do you call it? A daughter. So, to but everyone's surprise, the unborn child's grandmother, who was standing close by, told him that they did not want a son. The holy man was actually very surprised because everyone actually wanted usually a son. So this was quite surprising for him. So this was there, and then neitherless he gave the requested blessing. So whatever they requested them for, so they gave, like the requesting, like the thasu jaise bolte hai na. And as the destiny would have it, the blessing seemed to work. Santosh was born as a sixth in a family of 5 sons. So basically, what happened was they were actually Santosh was the youngest, and then she had what 5 brothers, and she was the only sister of 5 brothers. Okay, so yeah, that is what is given here. Then she was born in a small village of Joniavas in Rewari district in Haryana. So where was she born? She was born in a district, a small village that was named as Joniavas, and it was in the Rewari district, which is in Haryana. So the girl was given the name Santosh, which means con- contentment. Contentment. Sorry. So contentment means that having something that you're grateful for, and then you have the fulfillness about it. So Santosh jo tha, that is the meaning of the name. Contentment is the meaning. But Santosh was not always content with her place in traditional way of life. So basically she was not fulfilled कि भाई ऐसी ही life जीनी है मेरे को. She began with her place in a traditional way of life. So basically before, what in the ancient times or the olden ages, I would say, not ancient. Basically, women actually would wear saris, kurtis. Now they still do, but like घर पे पहले ऐसे होता था ना कि women should wear only traditional dresses वैसे वाले. So Santosh actually preferred wearing shorts instead of this. Looking back, she says now, from the very beginning, I was quite determined that if I chose a right path and a rational path, the others around me had to change, not me. So basically she was like कि भाई मैं जो कर रही हूँ I want to do that itself, and then the others around me have to change. If they don't accept it, I don't care. So Santosh's parents were affluent affluent sorry so Santosh's parents were affluent uh, landowners, meaning that they were actually very rich. So the meaning of affluent is rich, okay? So over here, they were pretty rich landowners who could afford to send their children to the best schools, even in the country's capital, that is New Delhi. So they could send them to the best schools which were there in New Delhi, which was quite close by, but in the line with the prevailing customs in the family. Santosh had decided to make do with the college school in a college normal local school. So basically, their parents had a lot of money. Okay, they could send their kids to a good school, but instead, because of these stupid customs, they were prevailed to send Santosh to a local village school. But you know what she may do it with. So, so she decided to fight the system in her own quiet way. When the right moment arrived, at the right moment, she was actually 16. So at 16, most of the girls in their village would actually get married. Okay, so Santosh was also under the pressure of her parents to get married and do the same thing. A marriage as early as a marriage as early as that was the last thing on her mind, so she wanted to do something else. She threatened her parents that she would never marry if she would not get a proper education. She left the home and got herself enrolled in a school in Delhi. What she did was that she did not want to get married, so she threatened her parents that if you don't let me study, I won't get married. And then what she did was she left her house, she ran away, and then she got herself enrolled in a school in Delhi. So when her parents actually refused to pay for her education, she just politely informed that she will earn her money itself by working a part-time job, and then she'll pay her school fees by herself, so that their parents wouldn't have to worry about the tuition fees. But her parents agreed to pay her for her education anyways, wishing always to study a bit more, and with her father slowly getting used to her urge of education. So basically, what happens was that usually when we come to study, right, we usually be like, thoda sa padha do, and then we'll be like, jaldi khatam karo this. But Santosh, she wanted to study a lot more. She was like, let me study a little bit more. So that her urge to just, learn a lot was there. And then it was slowly getting to her father that, you know what, she has a good interest in studies. So let her study. Then Santosh passed the high school examinations, and then she went to Jaipur. She joined the Maharani College. So where is this? This is in Jaipur, okay. And then she got a room in the Kasturba hostel where she was staying. It was near her college itself. So Santosh remembers that Kasturba faced the Aravali Hills. तो बेसिकली अरावली हिल्स के जस्ट डायरेक्ट सामने वो कस्तूरबा हॉस्टल था, तो इट वाज जस्ट फेसिंग राइट डायर. So the view was great. So what she used to do is she used to watch the villagers. She used to watch the villagers from her room, going up the hill and suddenly vanishing after a while. So she would stare at them. One day I decided to check it out myself. I found nobody except a few mountaineers. I asked if I could join them. To my pleasant surprise, they कहाँ गया? They answered in an affirmative and motivated me to take climbing. So basically, after just seeing that, one day what happened was that she went to the Aravali Hills herself to just check it out. वो chill मचती है ना, that inner self in your self that is there. So what she did was she found a few mountaineers and she asked them that whether she could also join in their trek. So obviously they said yes in a very pleasant and surprised way, and then they also motivated her to actually take climbing. Then there was no looking back for this determined young girl. So actually from their case, she actually just straightforward thought that I'm going to do climbing and it's not going to stop me. So she thought that, and then she saved up and she saved money and then enrolled herself into a course of Uttarkashi's Nehru Institute of Mountaineering. My college semester in Jaipur was about to end in April, but it ended in the 19th of May, and I was supposed to go back to Uttarkashi. I was supposed to be in Uttarkashi in the 21st on 21st. So I did not go back home. Instead, I headed straight for my training. I had to write a letter of apology to my father, without whose permission I got myself to Uttarkashi. So basically, she saved up money, and then her college semester, which was in Jaipur, actually was supposed to end in April, but it actually ended in 19th of May, okay? And then she was supposed to reach Uttarkashi at 21st of May. So what she did was she did not go home, but instead she went right away for her training, and then later she wrote an apology letter to her father apologizing that she has enrolled herself into the Nehru Institute of Uttarkashi of Mountaineering, and then she'll be doing that course. Thereafter, Santosh went on an expedition every year. So she would go around, climbing every year. Her climbing skills matured rapidly. Also, she developed a remarkable resistance to cold and the altitude. So obviously, if you're climbing, obviously there would be something known as altitude and cold, which would be obviously there, and you need a proper resistance that your body will be able to resist it, right? So, equipped with the iron will and physical endurance and amazing mental toughness, she proved herself repeatedly that the culmination of her hard work and sincerity came in 1992. So, basically, she had a good physical endurance and a proper mental toughness and mentality that she is going to climb that mountain, that's for sure. And she had that iron will, that is the great determination that she had. So from this case she actually proved herself repeatedly that she could do it, and from her hard work and culmination, she with and also with her consistency, in 1992, just 4 years after she had shyly asked the Aravali mountaineers if she could join them at barely years of what, 20, Santosh Yadav, she became the youngest woman to climb the Mount Everest, becoming the youngest woman in the world to achieve the feat. If her climbing skills and physical fitness and mental strength impressed her seniors, and her concern with others, to desire to work together with terms and found them in a special place in their hearts and fellow climbers. So finally, what happened was, with all of this determination, she finally climbed the Mount Everest, and this actually, inspired many. her seniors, her juniors, and also her concern of others to desire to work together found them in a special place with hearts of fellow climbers. Also, she made special relationships and unbreakable bonds with other climbers as well. So, next, what happened was during 1992 Everest mission. So over here, this is another case. Santosh Yadav provided a special care to a climber who lay dying at the South Pole. I think it's supposed to be South Pole, but okay. She was unfortunately unsuccessful in saving him, but however, she managed to save another climber named Mohan Singh, and then who had met with the same faith, and she also faith had not shared her oxygen with him. So basically, what happened was at the 1992 Everest mission, she joined, and then she also provided a special care to a climber who was dying, but unfortunately, she was not able to save him or her. Save him because in the South Pole, but she was able to actually save another climber named Mohan Singh, who actually met the same fate with the other climber, and then she also shared oxygen with him. Then, within 12 months, Santosh found herself in a member of the Indo-Nepalese women expedition that invited her to join them. So basically, the Nepalese, that is the Indo-Nepalese women expedition, invited Santosh to join them. So she joined. She then scaled the Everest the second time. So again, she climbed the mountains once more. So Everest, how many times she climbed? Two times, thus setting a record as the only woman who has scaled the Mount Everest twice, and securing herself with the India's unique place in annals of mountaineering. So she finally got a very unique place, that is the annals of mountaineering. That is a good recognition. Okay, so in recognition to her achievement, the Indian government actually gave her the Padma Shri. So they bestowed upon her with the nation's top honors, that is the Padma Shri. And describing her feelings when she was literally on the top of the world, Santosh has said, it took her some time of enormity of the moment to sink in. So whenever the way when she got that Padma Shri, right? Sorry, we are talking about the Mount Everest feeling over here. So when she climbed the Mount Everest, her feelings were on top of the world. She couldn't feel the enormity, the huge thing that she had done for such a long time, and it was hard for her to sink in that she had climbed the Mount Everest. Then I unfurled the Indian tricolor. That is, she unfolded the Indian tricolor and the flag. She held it in her hands and aloft on the roof of the world, that is the Mount Everest. We are referring to the Mount Everest here when we talk about the mount on top of the world, okay? Because it's very high, right? That is why. And the feeling was actually undescribable. So it was so like it was so amazing for her. And then the Indian flag was flying on top of the world, at on the top of the Mount Everest on such a highest peak, right? And then it was a truly a spiritual moment. I felt proud to be an Indian. Also a fervent environmentalist, Santosh collected and brought down 500 kgs of garbage from the Himalayas. So basically, she was also a fervent environmentalist who's like to save the environment. So basically, she had sincere and strong feelings for Mother Earth. So what she did was, whenever she was climbing the Himalayas, she brought down 500 kgs worth of garbage, whatever the cans जो फेंकते रहते ना लोग, like water cans, water bottles, whatever would be there, she brought that all down, preventing the environment from getting damaged. So this was Santosh Yadav ka part 1, and let me know if you would like to hear part 2. Chalo, bye.